One of the most difficult tasks for someone wanting to play D&D, whether you're a player or a DM, is finding a group to play with. Players have difficulty finding DMs. DMs sometimes have problems finding players. That one isn't usually that hard. Players are almost always looking for a DM though. But the question is, where? There's a lot of places you can go to look for a group. Some of them are a little more obvious than others, and you'll have better luck with some of these depending on exactly what it is you're looking for. So, what are you looking for? What genre of game? What size group are you looking for? Do you just need to add a player or two to an existing group? Or are you looking to join an already established group? Or do you want to create a brand new group? Are you a DM that wants to start up a new game? Do you want to play in person or do you want to play online? These are just some of the questions you can ask yourself to get started, but there's plenty more that will really just depend on your individual situation. I mentioned there's a lot of places to look for groups and games, and there's no way we can talk about all of them here, but after polling some of the community, I've come up with a list of 10 options for how you can find your next game group. Let's start with some options that you can find online. Now, one thing to note here, all the options in this video will work for both online games and in-person games. I've seen both in all of these options. And these lists are really in no particular order. I mean, I guess they're in the order I thought of them, but that's irrelevant. First up, D&D Beyond has a section of their forums dedicated to both players and DMs who are looking to join games or have spots available in an existing game. Go to the forums section on their site, and it's called Looking for Players and Groups. Obvious name. They do have a sticky post at the top with some of the guidelines for posting and a couple of templates for kind of easy to read posts also. This section of their forums is fairly active. Last time I checked, I had to go through about 5 pages or so before I got to any posts that weren't active in the last 24 hours. So it's fairly active. Next up is a very similar section on Roll20's website. This is under their community section, and it's a little bit different format than D&D Beyond. On this page, there's a section for pickup games, which is basically games that will be starting in a short amount of time and are open for really anyone to join. A quick note about those. A lot of times they do charge money for those games. They might be from professional DMs, might not be, and not all of them do charge. Just keep that in mind. Below that, there's a list of everyone that's looking for players or DMs. You can easily see how long a DM has been playing for on Roll20, a quick description of the game, and any other information like how many players they're looking for. Most of the games you'll find listed there will probably be played on Roll20, but there are some occasional exceptions, so just keep that in mind when you're looking. Number 3 on our list is Reddit. Reddit can be used to find players and groups too, but if you're not familiar with Reddit, just know it can be a bit toxic at times. If you are familiar with Reddit, and you're probably already used to it, so you're fine. Specifically, you'll be looking at the LFG subreddit, stands for looking for game. I've personally used this option, and in the past I've had very good luck with Reddit. The first campaign I ever DM'd, I advertised on Reddit and got about 100 responses in less than 24 hours. A lot. I have no idea if those results are really typical or not. It's just my personal experience. There are some formatting guidelines on there as well, but not everyone follows them. If you do use the LFG subreddit, please do follow them. It really just makes it much easier to comb through those endless lists. Discord servers are another good place to find some games. If you're new to the world of Discord, it's basically a chat server service almost, where anyone can make their own server and invite whoever they want to it. Discord has a Discover section where you can find servers that are listed as being public. The search isn't always the best, but if you get it formatted right, you can get some good results. Wizards has their own official Discord server for D&D with a looking for games section as well, and D&D Beyond has their own server as well. These servers have tens or hundreds of thousands of members, so they can be a little tricky to navigate through at times. And also, you can use some Google searching to come in handy to find some other Discord servers. And speaking of Discord, why don't you stop by our Discord server and say hi? Link to it down below in the description. Next up on our list is Facebook. There are numerous Facebook groups dedicated to tabletop RPGs and D&D specifically. Personally, I've not had the best luck with these in the past since the user base of Facebook doesn't quite vibe with what I've been looking for, but it's entirely possible you have a lot more luck than I have, and Facebook is still used by millions of people every day. So, definitely a viable option for finding a group to play with. Number 6, and the last of our list of online resources you can use, is a site called Meetup. It's essentially a site where you can find local events in your area. You'll more than likely find offline, in person games instead of online games using this, but that will hugely depend on your geographic location. Where I live in the middle of nowhere in the South, I've yet to find a game in my area. However, in more populated areas of the world, you can absolutely have a lot more luck than me. If you've been getting any value out of this so far, why not give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you're not? The engagement really helps out the channel. Plus, I've heard that the algorithm recently found a deck of many things, and we really don't want to upset it. So let's change gears now and talk about a few options where you can look and post for games in the real world. First up on that list, and number 7 on our overall list, is your local game store, if you have one in your area. Where I am, I've got to go about 45 minutes away to get to one, but it's completely worth it. Not only can you find plenty of in person games, but it's a great place to learn more about whatever type of game you're interested in playing: tabletop, board games, card games, anything. Depending on your store, you might be able to find online games there too, but most of what you'll find will be in person. A lot of these game stores will have a fairly large area for tabletop playing, so you might not even have to wait too long to get into a game. Add in being able to purchase whatever source books, minis, maps, whatever else you want, and you might never actually leave. If you're still in school, whether that's high school, primary school, secondary school, college, university, whatever you call it in your region of the world, chances are there's some sort of tabletop club. And if not, there's no reason you can't start one. You'll probably have a lot of interest. And even if that isn't a real option, most colleges and other schools will have somewhere you can post to gauge interest in a game, whether that's an online private forum or a physical bulletin board you can tack a notice to, or maybe a teacher or a professor that can help you organize a group and spread the word also. So, number 9 on our list is your local library. Similar to a school or a college campus, there's usually meeting rooms or another space that you could potentially use to play, but you'll want to be careful there. Some libraries may specifically not allow you to play there just because of the possible noise. But worst case, a lot of the libraries, and again, depending on their size and location, will have areas you can post to try and start a group, or may have some existing public posts to join a group. Some libraries will specifically organize events for gameplay also, maybe at an off-site location or perhaps at the library after hours. Either way, never hurts to check there. And finally, if you're currently working, your place of employment can be an excellent place to get a group started. The last 2 places I've worked have either had plenty of people who were interested in playing or have already had a running weekly game set up and were always open to new players. Obviously, this one is going to greatly depend on your individual job, but it can still be a great place to check. Now, if you're posting to try and get a group started, or you're looking for a DM, or whatever your purpose is, regardless of where you're posting it, there's certain information you should always include in your post. Some locations will have specific templates they want you to use, so follow those if you see them. But at a minimum, you should include whether you're a player or a DM. If you're looking to start a group, whether you want to join an existing group or if you have multiple people looking to either start or join a group. You should also include the type of game you're wanting to play, for example, D&D 5th edition, and how much experience you have with said game. Are you brand new, or have you been playing for years? Also, make sure you list whether you're looking for an in-person game or an online game, and potentially your rough geographical location or time zone, depending on which one makes more sense there. In addition, something to keep in mind is how should people respond to you? Should they reply back to the post? Is there a form they need to complete? What kind of information do you want them to supply to you when they indicate their interest? If you're responding back to someone else's post, make sure you include all the information they're looking for within reason, of course. You don't need to give someone your phone number or address if you don't want to. And please, please Don't give anyone your bank account information or credit card number. Even if that's the only way to get into the game, don't do it. You have no idea who this other party is or what they might even do with that information. And then also, if you have anything else you want to include when you're responding back, feel free to do that as well. So if you have any other methods to find games or players, or have anything else that I might have missed, drop a comment down below or stop by our Discord server and let us know. Hopefully this video has been helpful for you, and if it hasn't been, sorry. Until next time.